can also be available on computer networks such as the internet. Most of the time when we convert to EPUB, you have them on these platforms such as Amazon, you have it on Okada, you have it on other platforms. And most of these platforms do not accept PDF. And even if they accept PDF, the engagement when people pick up your ebook and they are reading, it is not really as reflowable. What I mean by reflowable is, the experience. Now when you are talking about digital books, experience matter. It's just like when you are on Facebook and you are looking at Facebook. Facebook is always changing their algorithm, changing the experience. Why? Because experience matter. If you are not enjoying being on Facebook, there are other platforms. So they are always trying to work on that experience. So what EPUB does for you is it helps that experience. So that PDF is stiff. It's just when you put it up, page 1, page 2, page 3. But then when you convert to EPUB, you can include videos, you can include audio, you can include several other files. And then the experience is always there. It's always there. So there's something called DRM. Have you heard of DRM? Okay, what is DRM? Okay, I thought you. Okay, DRM. I think I'm the only stranger in this room. I look like a stranger. Okay, digital rights management. That's DRM. This is software that allows a book to appear in digital form and is meant to hinder online piracy. If, for example, you want to make your ebook available on Okada books, they will give you two options. They give you an option to make it available on their app, and they will give you an option to also make it available on the web store. DRM, if you want to activate DRM, allow only on the app. Why? Because if you download on the app, it is not possible, or let me say it is more difficult for you to want to have the file directly on your phone and share with others. But then if you have it on the web store, you can just download on your laptop and then start sharing with others. So digital rights management is the software. The app is the software most of the time, that protects that from happening. So we have electronic rights. This right is the right to publish in digital form. Most authors don't always want to give, when it comes to rights, they always want to give their publisher the electronic right. Why? Because they want to explore it by themselves. Understandable. So the electronic right, which is a short form of, you can call ER, is a right to publish in digital form, which is always negotiated separately from the right to publish in print. We have what we call virtual book tour. You've heard of that before? Virtual book tour. Virtual book tour. Have you ever done that before? Virtual book tour. Okay. So this is also referred to as a blog tour, whereby series of promotion is done for probably most of the time ebook, and it can also be done for a book in print. Several blogs over a number of days, over a particular duration, are talking about your book, and then it can be done on social media platforms like Twitter. You can have something. I think there was a time before Twitter, was banned, where the literary community, you can have a number of literary people come together and talk about a particular book. So let's look at the processes. What are the processes of turning your work to ebook? I would never encourage anybody to just pick up their manuscript and upload on Okada books. So the first process is what we call manuscript evaluation and editing. Ensure you get an editor to edit your work. There was a time I had an interaction with a man. He's a popular publisher. He told me he edits his own manuscript. And I was shocked. Why will you edit your own manuscript? The essence of having an editor is to have a second eye, somebody that is experienced, that can look at your work from another perspective, that is experienced when it comes to language usage, and several other factors. So the first process is manuscript evaluation and editing, which highlights the importance of a very important stage of publishing. So it continues to be an integral part of publishing. Even with the advent of quicker electronic, there are a lot of files, e-books, on Okada books that they were never edited. It's part of the shortcomings of the digital age. But then I will encourage, if you want to have your work in e-book, contact a publisher that can do it for you. Don't do it yourself. Or contact someone that is quite experienced, that can link you up with an experienced editor that will evaluate the manuscript, edit the manuscript, and then move on to the next stage, which is manuscript formatting and cover design. You don't need, in print, you can format using PageMaker, you can use InDesign, you can use CorelDRAW, but then for ebook, you format using some particular EPUB softwares. I mentioned earlier, you can use Calibri, you can use Sigil, but it's not something you can just pick up one day and start using. So you will need someone that's experienced in that part. Most of the time, the publishing house always have them in-house. Their designer can do that, but then that is when you have an agreement with the publishing house. So if you don't have an agreement with the publishing house, if you go online, you find some of these organizations or individuals that can help you with this. So the design team is tasked with the responsibility of formatting the edited manuscript to reflowable ebooks, ebooks that people can engage with, such as using tools such as Sigil, Calibri, etc. So they are also responsible for the conceptualization and design of the cover design. So don't just use, there is now something that happens with authors now. They just use Canva, they design their own cover, and then everybody, they upload on Okada and they think they've published. That is very wrong. Get a professional to do it for you. The most important part of ebook publishing is distribution and marketing. Most of the time, you will find thousands of authors not even having one download, and then they are wondering why. The reason simply because nobody is helping you with online distribution and marketing. Even some number of publishing houses have contacted me before that can you help with that particular area, and then when I see the process, say you got it all wrong from the very beginning. So the same process you must have adopted if you are a publishing house or you are an independent author that self-publishes, that you must have used while promoting your work to print. If you had invested 100,000 naira on promotion, if you are invested 200,000 naira on promotion, you will have to invest on promoting your ebook. And now you have a higher chance of making more money. I can tell you this. Why? Because you are going to make money in hard currency. So if you have a particular ebook, say $20 or say $5 on Amazon Kindle, and you promote well, and the person that promotes understands keyword, search engine optimization, how to manipulate the keywords right, where to promote your book, can make constant, consistent royalties in hard currencies, and it can be quite rewarding. So I would like to round up on this note. I don't know if you have any question.
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
I think you have a question. Let me quickly ask that. Though we are going to suspend the question to the end of the next trainers, and then I'm going to call that. Do we have a question? If you have a question, let me see your hand up. Any question? Yes, 1, 2. Okay.
Let's have it.
Yes, okay. You have the closer.
Thank you for your enlightenment. I want to have a question. Is it possible to have a book both on sticker printing and ebook at the same time? That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, of course. It's always advisable. So many authors come to my organization to say they just want the book in electronic format, and I advise them put it in print. So you can have both in both print and ebook, so that you make revenue from both ends.
Some of my friends who have books on
most of their complaints, they are always about profit. Many of them will tell you that it doesn't worth it when it comes to profit. That it's good just to promote yourself. That yeah, I've got my book with Amazon. But besides that, many of them will tell you stories, bad stories of not making money from the book. Then I was thinking that you would give us the many addresses like that of Okada. You mentioned Okada. Can you give us more platforms like that?
Thank you very much. Let me talk about the issue of revenue. You know, ebook publishing is very interesting. But you know, I said earlier on, I said the most important part of ebook publishing is distribution and marketing. Most authors and publishers get it wrong. Why? Because some of them would have invested a lot in printing the book, doing the book launch. So when it now comes to promoting the ebook, they just put it online and then go and rest. It doesn't work. Nobody will buy it. If you are lucky to get 1 or 2 downloads, you are very lucky. But then if you promote it well, invest the same time, energy and resources you must have put in printing the book and distributing to bookstores, and make some number of sales. Then it's also dependent on the genre of work you are also putting out. You know, some genre have higher chances of selling more than others. So if okay.
Can you tell us how you can promote your book on Amazon?
I can tell, but then if I start that now, you know, the scope of this class is quite limited. Yeah. So I just said, let me do, this is an introduction. If we are to continue talking about it, we might not live here today. This is just an excerpt from a class that I teach at my school, at School of Media. So that is for, that you asked another question. I can't remember. Okay.
Yes.
So sorry to cut you. Okay, you mentioned the links. We have Okada Books. I think Okada Books. If you search on Google, you find it. Smashwords. We have Kobo. We have Barnes and Noble. We have Amazon Kindle. But I will advise focus on 2 platforms. Amazon. That's the core for when it comes to US, UK. They have a larger distribution platform. Then you can do Okada Books. Then we have online library. We have an online library, though I'm not happy with them right now, so I won't mention them. We have an online library. They pay on a quarterly basis, you know, where you can put your book there and they pay you something. That's if people read your book. But then I wouldn't want to mention them so that you won't say that I was the one that mentioned them and you are having issues with them. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. My question goes my book was published on Amazon and Okada Books. So I was asked to link my account number to my, along the line after, I think 2 months later, I received message from Amazon that my book is going to be published in Australia. That is, and then the publishing rate in Australia is higher, that I should upgrade the amount I put there. So I learned that the backpack was also published. That is to say, when you go to UK,
the hardback.
Yes, yes. So when you go, that is to say, when you go to UK now, on Amazon bookshop, you find my book. So I don't know. I've not been paid. I don't know how to, because I actually consulted my publisher, which happened to be the Parosia magazine. So he helped me create an account which is paper, which it was linked to my Nigerian account. But since then, I've not gotten any royalty. So I don't know how to.
It's not something we can discuss here. Maybe after the class we can talk about it and find out what must have
I think that's all for this session.
Thank you.
Let me ask you that, how the legal aspect, if he wants to claim his money.
Well, the legal aspect, I don't know what must have, transpired between the publisher.
He only has the publicity,
Yes.
no money.
The publisher, and then, I don't know the contract he also signed. It's also dependent on the contract you signed with your publisher. So we have to look at that aspect before I can now say this is what you should do, this is how to approach it. Thank you very much.